right, welcome to One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars, and welcome to the program tonight. Tonight, we've got a special treat for you. Last week, we talked about boys volleyball that is happening right here in mid-Missouri, but tonight we're wanting to focus on a student athlete that is doing an outstanding job right here at Capital City High School, and she's got a lot of different things going on, so we wanted to find out a little bit about her and what's happening with her this summer. And also, we're going to talk to Coach Craig Cunningham tonight of Rebel Academy and find out about what it is that he does and how he helps student athletes like Katie Daehnick. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring the two of them on here, and let's get started with the program. All right. Hey, Coach and Katie, how are you guys doing?
Great. Appreciate you having us.
Good to have you guys on here tonight. Taking time out of your busy schedules. Yeah. First of all, let's start with you, Katie. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where do you go to school and what grade are you in?
I go to Capital City High School. I'm a sophomore. I obviously do volleyball. Last year I did track, but that's about it. I'm very involved in my school, I'd like to say, and especially my academics.
Yes, and speaking of academics, you're right in the middle of finals for the next week or so, aren't you? Gonna ace them all. Gonna make your parents proud, and then you're gonna have all that stress off of you and be able to get back to focusing on volleyball, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. Hey, so we'll get to volleyball a little bit more here in a moment, but what are some of the other things that you're involved in at school and outside of school? What are some things that you like to do?
At school, I'm involved in our Nationals Honor Society. And like I said, I was involved with track, but I wasn't able to do it this year because of all of my AP classes that I'm taking and just the homework and everything. But outside of school, I like to volunteer down at Binder at Miracle League because I just think that's a really great way to give back to my community. And I just like to hang out with friends and I really like animals, so just spending time with my pets at home and stuff like that.
Okay, so that's a question we got to jump into right there. How many pets do you have at home and what are they?
Um, I have 2 dogs and I think 4 cats.
Okay. That's a lot
Yeah.
of pets to take care of, isn't it, Craig?
That's a lot.
At
Especially with the
least,
schedule that she keeps.
oh my goodness, yeah, I don't even know what you would do with that. At least it wasn't like this one lady that I knew when she said how many pets she had. She had 4 dogs, 2 cats, and a chicken. And the and the chicken lived indoors with them. I just don't even know.
It's different. That's a new
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it is. It is a new one. I've never heard it again. Katie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Capital City High School and what is it that you've enjoyed about going there?
Um, Going to Capital City High School, going in as a freshman, it can be really scary going into a new high school. But I honestly think that the atmosphere there is just so welcoming. I always knew if I didn't know what class I was going to or if I didn't have any friends in the class, I could just look at someone next to me and talk to them. And the teachers and just other staff and just kids have made it just such a welcoming environment and such a fun place to be during the day.
Yeah, everybody seems to be really, really nice there. They always do an outstanding job helping us as we're in there doing photo shoots and interviews. So, great group of people. Uh, Speaking of great group of people, we've got a lot of people that are watching you right now. I see joining the program, and I just want to say that anybody that wants to make any nice comments or you have any questions that you want to throw in here for Katie or even Coach Craig, if you want to do that, feel free to do that. We'd love to hear from you. Uh, Coach Cunningham, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got to meet Katie through Rebel Academy and um, tell us a little bit about what you try to do with student athletes like her, and a little bit about Rebel Academy.
Okay. So so Katie I met, I mean, so a lot of experience coaching juniors volleyball, and then Rebel Academy, I guess with Rebel Academy's niche is a lot of kids that play on teams. You spend a lot of time working with your team, but your coach doesn't have a lot of time to work with you individually as a player. So where our niche is with Rebel Academy is it's really more personal development plans for student athletes. So one, you may be somebody that may be trying to transition and earn your way onto a team, and then folks like Katie, those are folks that are trying to work their way into programs and hopefully working on beyond into the next level for college. So Katie is in one of our positional training, and that's the focus of Rebel Academy. We do a lot of focused, advanced positional training to where we get really in depth. You know, like for in Katie's position, she's a setter.
Hmm.
Well, when a coach has a team of 10 to 20 athletes, it's hard to spend a lot of time focusing on just that setter. You know, you've got 10 or 12 other athletes standing around on the court. So whereas Katie will come in and spend hours a week training on individual setting skills and situational based scenarios and things like that to really polish her skills and then take that back to her team
Hmm.
outside of that. So it's a lot of high rep, pretty intense training, but it's very position specific advanced training.
Okay. So how did you get into doing all that?
So growing up, I played juniors volleyball as a kid and um, started, you know, and traveled around just like Katie is doing now. So like, you know, I also coached for 417 volleyball club. I played for a club similar to that when I was a kid. I moved on and moved into the adult leagues and played collegiate club. And then uh, I actually started coaching juniors and then went straight into college. I coached at Evangel University in Springfield, Missouri
Hmm.
for several years. And then the Rebel Academy concept actually came from working in Springfield. I would work with the college teams down there during the summer months. A lot of the college players would stay around during the summer. Um, they had downtime. They had things that they wanted to work on and develop before they came into the next fall. So the Rebel Academy concept was myself as a coach working with a lot of athletes from schools like Drury, Missouri State, Southwest Baptist, Evangel, bringing those kids together and training weekly. And then when I moved back to the Jefferson City area, I just took that model, uh, offered it to folks like Katie, and it's grown like wildfire.
Yes, and I'm sure it keeps you extremely busy.
Yeah, extremely. Right now we've got about a 4 month wait list.
Oh, wow.
Right now it's been incredibly busy.
Yeah. Well, that's it's great what you're doing, and I know that the families and the student athletes absolutely appreciate what you're doing because they're getting to learn more about what they love and the skills to be able to do it even better. So, very good. Well, Katie, you know what? We've got some people that are chiming in. We've got Callie Nichols saying, "Go, Katie, go! Love you, girl." Kaylee Brace, "Go, Katie! She's the sweetest teammate ever." Celia Schrader says, "Hadley, Harper, and Heidi love their Katie girl." And then James Hake just chimed in saying, "Katie's such a great athlete, an even better person, teammate. She's definitely a leader. Younger kids, especially my daughter, looks up to her." Thank you guys for your nice comments. And you know what? The good thing is she'll be able to just pull this up. If ever she's feeling down, she'll be able to pull this up online. Look at all those nice things that my friend said about me. So that's great. All right. Uh, Coach Craig, tell us a little bit about the process and development and what opportunities can players like Katie have through that.
So process development. So one, we do we keep our training groups pretty small, although we do some individual skill-based training, or we will do some small groups. Like Katie is in a couple small groups, and
Hmm.
actually James is on there talking right now. Katie trains with his daughter, and she's been great with she's been a great leader, and the groups every group that she's been a part of. Um, so, and how that process works was they will come in and as people will sign up, they're grouped not necessarily by age, but they're also grouped by experience and skill level. So we will put those groups in together, and then we'll also group by um, development goals. So a lot of kids will have a different focus or development need. So we'll group those kids together so that they will actually work through their development plans together, and then they'll go into weekly lessons, and and we'll progress together. And then as we need to reset or modify, they may shift groups. There's every now and then there is a reset, and people will graduate into a different group or split off into a different group as a need as a need arises. So there's a lot of interaction with parents, and like, that's one thing I'm a big advocate of parents being a part of the process.
Hmm.
As you could ask any of our parents, they will get 4:30 in the morning text messages from me before I go to work, or there may be videos or discussions of we need to talk about this before we get into to the gym tonight.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's because we're trying to tune things for each kid depending on what they need. That's one thing, I guess, being as old as I am. I have been coaching for 20 years. Um, it's hard to say that. I don't feel that old, but um, the good thing is that I've been blessed with a lot of great mentors and a lot of experience and opportunities with a lot of folks that um, it really helps um, coming up with different methods or ideas or
Mhm.
in order to approach different development opportunities with kids.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about who's the oldest in here, so we're just going to move on from that right now. You're talking about hard to imagine 20 years ago. My goodness, I can uh, I can remember when you were a lot younger. Okay, let's just say that. Let's go with that. All right. Hey, Katie, why don't you tell us a little bit about how Rebel Academy, how it's helped you become a better player, and how did your participation in that program come about? What drew you to that?
Well, like Craig had said, um, Rebel Academy is more position based, and it just helps you specialize as your skill as a player. So going into Rebel Academy, I think I just kind of was able to improve these little techniques that were just because in setting the little things make a big difference on the ball. So I was able to fix these little things, and you're able to zoom in on these little things that improve yourself overall in the way you play. And I really just came about this because even before Rebel Academy was a thing, I kind of did private lessons with Craig just from like the 417 standpoint, and then Rebel Academy just kind of grew. And obviously from my positive experience I had previously had with Craig, I wanted to stay involved in that. And so I've just really pushed to be a part of every Rebel thing that there was. I mean, I'm going in, I have 3 sessions a week. It's just, I want to be there as much as possible because I want to get as many touches on the ball.
Hmm. Very good. So, Craig, tell us real quick where is Rebel Academy located? And I know you said there's a waiting list, but tell us a little bit
Yep.
about that.
So so facility wise, so like for instance, on an evening like tonight, I'm actually out at a different facility. This is my second facility stop tonight. So we typically the majority of our program, Debbie over at CrossFit Unstoppable in Jefferson City
Hmm.
is gracious enough to rent a lot of court space to us.
Yeah.
So right now I rent 20, usually on average during our peak season, 20 to 26 hours a week over there.
Hmm.
Um, but then on nights like this, we will sometimes the parent groups will really help me because I'm really over capacity
Hmm.
on hours. So like for instance, nights like tonight, I was out in Honey Creek a little while ago. I'm here out at Blair Oaks right now. I've got two groups waiting in the gym for me to finish this. So that I'll work with them, and then I'll be back over at CrossFit. So I do travel. I've been everywhere from there's been weeks where I'll have sessions in California or Colombia,
Hmm.
and so on. So we really court space is definitely is at a premium. So we use
Yeah.
every hour of court space we can find. So, but based
Sure.
primarily out of Jefferson City, but we'll travel up to 30 miles, or we'll do some remote sessions as well.
Well, cool. You know, I I know my daughter and son-in-law would love to have you go out there to Colorado and show my grandkids some stuff, but I'm sure they would take you sightseeing.
Yeah, very good. There's very good volleyball in Colorado.
Yeah, they love it. So, tell us real quick about the people that help you out as far as other instructors or other people that are helping.
So, well, recently, and actually, I'm starting to expand. We do have a few other coaches, so we've got several coaches from Central Methodist that have come on board to help out. So I'm in the process of scheduling them. We've even got some college players that are coming on. So like some of those players that are coming home um, uh, over the summer that are actually going to help us start mentoring some of these girls. And that's one thing that's a great opportunity is well, actually, Katie, who doesn't, Katie, Katie probably is not one to sing her praises. She does a lot. Katie's actually in our some of the so she's already showing her leadership skills there and leading some of the setting sessions and some of the other ones because she is our longest standing member um, in the setting positionals. And then we've got kids like Summer Hake coming home from college that's going to be taking on some middle positionals. We've got Landry Van Overshelby coming home from Missouri Southern this summer. Annabelle Mawson from Central Methodist. Vitor from Missouri Valley. And he's an assistant at Central Methodist. We've got several either college experience players or coaches that are all coming online to help. We're really trying to make to really put together the best programs we can to really get kids a lot of this um, skill-based
Mhm.
training before kids head into high school and club tryouts this summer.
Yeah, yeah.
And Katie is like I said, she's definitely one to share, and she's already. I don't know how she keeps her schedule because she pushes me sometimes to get into extra sessions. I'm like, are you sure? And then now here she is. She will come and she'll work out 3 days a week, and then she's staying after workouts to help coach other kids.
That's awesome. Very good. Well, we can see obviously that there's people that appreciate you, Katie. We had Mindy Olstad. She said, "Go, Katie! So proud of you." Jennifer Sandbothy, way to go, Katie. And then Sheila Martin says, "Katie is a shining example for others of all ages. Beyond her amazing ability in volleyball, her dedication and heart are truly remarkable." So, again, thank you guys for making those comments. You're, she's just again, I'm telling you, she's going to be able to just put that on, keep it on, keep it going, keep it running. If ever she's down. Katie, real quick before we go to our break here, why don't you tell us a little bit about Coach Cunningham and the other staff? Uh, what have you found the most valuable in your experience with them so far?
Well, with Craig, I think it's really just like the bond we've created over these years. If I'm not having a good session and I feel I'm not having a good session, he can see that, and I just will send him a text afterwards and I'll be like, "Hey Craig, I'm sorry if I was in my head. Like what can I do to fix this?" And he never fails to be like, "I could tell," and just talk me through it. And it's just kind of having that player coach relationship where if I'm messing up or if I'm having errors, I'm just, instead of getting frustrated with myself, I can go talk to my coach because I feel like we have that relationship and it's open enough that he'll give me pointers and I'll be able to better myself. And then I know Craig had mentioned Annabelle, and Annabelle is another coach that she's like kind of an older version of myself. I've had her as a coach for 417 too. And having her as a coach, I just feel like I've always been able to go to talk to her. She's just, we share a lot of the same personality traits, and I don't think she really understands the type of, just like, she makes me feel comfortable because I'm able to go and talk to her and she'll understand how I feel and she'll be like, "Hey, like it's okay. This is how I felt when I was playing too." And I know, like as a setter, you kind of have to be bossy sometimes. And she'll be like, "I know that this is your comfort zone because it was out of mine too, but this is what you have to do, and it's okay to do that." And so she just will make me feel better as a player a lot of times.
Very good. Awesome. All right. Hey, we've flown through this first half, and we will go ahead and take our quick sponsor break, and then we'll be back because I know we got to get Coach Cunningham. He's got people waiting on him, so we don't want to keep him too long. You guys, thanks so much. Hold on while I do the sponsor break, and we'll be right back in just a few moments.
CNS Business Services has been connecting employees with employers since 1977. Recently, CNS rebranded to CNS Employment Solutions to more clearly define their mission of serving the needs of applicants, employees, and businesses while remaining current and evolving with the changes in the workforce. One important thing has not changed. CNS Employment Solutions partners with a wide variety of employers, placing employees in jobs that match their skills and needs.
Say yes to CNS.
All right, we have a great program tonight. We've got Katie Daehnick from the Capital City Cavaliers volleyball team, and also Coach Craig Cunningham of Rebel Academy, as well as 417 juniors out of Columbia. He's an assistant director there, as well as helping in a lot of other aspects in training. I just want to give a quick shout out to CNS Employment Solutions. They make sure that people find jobs. Also, they help employers find people to fill those jobs. If you know of anybody that ever needs any help, make sure that they go to CNS Employment Solutions. Paula and her team do an outstanding job of getting people together. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Big Whiskies right here in Jeff City. They do our Coach of the Issue, and Coach Matt Miller of North Callaway was in this last issue, and we will be featuring other coaches in the ones to come. As you guys can see, Coach Craig Cunningham, how important of a role he plays in helping to develop our student athletes. And it's always good to be able to give a shout out to our coaches because they put in a lot of time. And, unfortunately, they don't get adequately paid to be able to do all the different things that they do, keeping them away from families and all the other things that they could be doing. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We're going to get back into the second part of this interview. And I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you have any more comments or questions, feel free to jump in and do that. All right, Katie and Coach, thank you guys so much for being here, and we appreciate having you guys on. Doing an outstanding job. Now we're going to get to the nitty gritty, okay? Are you ready, Katie? Okay.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Tell us, before we get started, a little bit more on Rebel Academy and Exact 11. Tell us about your first couple of years at Capital City High School, and how's that experience been as far as like with teammates and just the level of play?
Going from not playing any type of school ball and just playing club to going to high school ball and club is definitely a really big switch, because in high school you are practicing 5 days a week, sometimes even 6 if we have practice on Sunday. You have morning practice after a 10 p.m. game the last night. You have early morning weights in the summer. Like, your summertime is filled with volleyball activities. So it's a really big shift, honestly. And I think going into that has really just helped me change my mental game as a player, because I've had to work through soreness, I've had to work through adversity, I've had to work through late nights and early mornings, and just meeting these new people who have also had to work through it just kind of creates this bond with teammates, and it just makes you a better player overall.
Well, talking about working through soreness and stuff like that, I'm 58 and I'm working through soreness even today. Craig, I don't know if you can relate to that either, but the soreness still tries to come. It's just different ways that we deal with it.
Running around trying to keep up with Katie is incredibly hard, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of ibuprofen involved.
There you go. I'm letting the young people like you do that. Great job. Hey, I wanted to give another shout out here real quick. Steve Bruce said, "What a mature, poised young woman. You've done a great job, sis." That's what he's got down there. So thank you, Steve. Katie, tell us about your coaching staff at Capital City High School, and what do you appreciate about them?
So, starting all the way down at our freshman coach, we have Coach Klosterman. She coached our freshman last year, and she's coming back this year. She was also my photography teacher, so I've been able to be with her on and off the court, and she just always is such a positive, radiant person to have on the court. She's always in tension and stuff like that. She's always able to just bring a laugh or something, and that's really nice and a really important thing to have, because you can't always just have these high tension situations and not be able to relieve some stress. So it's really nice having her. And then we have Coach Rena, which is recently a new recent coach, and she's younger. She's in college still, I believe, and she's kind of like a big sister. a lot of the coaches, sometimes it feels like you can't really talk to them just because of the professional like way, and just having someone closer in your age, you can just go talk to her. And a lot of times if a player is overwhelmed, she'll just take them under her wing and just take them for a walk. So it's really nice to have someone around your same age you can talk to. The JV coach is Coach Marshall. She was my coach my freshman year, and I'm not on her team. I'm not on JV anymore, unfortunately, but Coach Marshall has always been there for me on and off the court because she's also my school counselor. And I can't tell you how many times I've been overwhelmed with school or anything else, and I'm just like, hey, Coach Marshall, can I come sit in your office? And she just says, of course. And it's just having that relationship there and just being able to see her as a coach, but also as a friend at games or at practices. If I'm just like, Coach Marshall, I just need a hug right now, she's there. And it's just really nice to have that person that kind of be like a mom to you when your mom's not around. And then the main coach, Coach Vogler, me and her, I feel like, have a very special bond because with her as the head coach and me running a 5-1 on the court, never stepping off, she has to trust me. And last summer, we go to Nebraska camp, and this was my first time ever playing for her as a varsity setter. And it was a very frustrating game, and I was very frustrated with myself. And afterwards, we just kind of had this talk, and I feel like this talk just kind of opened up our relationship, and she was able to see that she can trust me as a setter and I can trust her as a coach, and we can just tell when the other one has something to say about the set or about the play, and we just kind of understand each other in that way. And I just feel like we have built a really special bond around that in a relationship.
Yeah. Thank you for giving a shout out to all of them. And then I want to throw this question to Coach. I had it in the other segment, but I waited for this one. Tell us about how you work with the student athletes in cohesiveness with their high school coaches. How does that work?
Well, I spend a lot of time trying to travel around and watch their games because one thing about volleyball is there's no one way to do things. And there's a lot of different ways to do things, and really my job is not to transform kids into what I want. It's really to set them up for success for where they're at and where they're trying to be. So the one thing is trying to observe like in their situations, and really one thing that really makes this job fun, and working with kids like Katie, is that um, is seeing where they're at, looking at what their needs are, and then trying to help put them in the best position. So try to see what their coaches are trying to accomplish with maybe with their personnel, and then giving those kids advice and kind of basing their plan on okay, well, let's work on this. We're going to add this to your game this week, or we need to work on this different tempo package because we think your personnel this fits really well with your personnel with this team. Um, there's a lot of things like that go along because every kid that's in the academy, their rosters are different with their school, and their coaches are
Hmm.
different.
Hmm.
Because there are some kids that they don't all get the same coaching.
Yeah,
It may be based on what their coaches are expecting, or at least what I know of their coaches.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a variety in that, and it takes a lot of juggling to be able to again fit what you need to in helping
Yeah,
to train like you are with
yeah.
Katie. So
Well, yeah, and there's times with like one thing that I really credit with like her coaching staff is like there's times that they've even observed practices and things like that. So like they've taken interest in like what she's done and that sort of thing. And
hmm.
some things they may like, some things that they may want to do differently.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just one of those things that um, they're definitely folks that want to be involved and want to see what's going on, and then they'll take where Katie's at, and then they'll make it their own this summer. And
Well,
hopefully
Coach,
Katie's built a good platform.
yeah. Well, Coach, you've been involved with volleyball for a long time. I mean, I know that your mom got you kind of involved a little bit in volleyball, and tell us a little bit about how you developed your love for the game.
Well, it started with sleeping on bleachers as a kid, as mom was officiating and playing volleyball growing up. My mom, it's kind of weird how the apple doesn't fall far from the tree because most of my evenings were spent in a gym because as mom was an official, and then I would sit there and wait for teams to warm up for my chance to go and pepper and play.
Hmm.
Um, and then when mom was playing, it was, it was the same thing. And so then eventually I was big enough that they'd let me pepper, and then eventually I started playing. And from playing volleyball in the living room, it was just one of those expectations in the house. If you were in this family, we even had a family team on Thursday nights. If you were in this family, you were going to play volleyball. And I know even when my brother made poor dating choices, I mean, there were some girlfriends that had to leave the family because they couldn't play volleyball.
There you
So
go.
it was mom just expected
Yeah, that's great.
it.
Oh,
She was
who?
incredibly competitive.
Oh yeah, I know she was, and she was a great lady, and she played the ukulele. I remember she
Uh-huh.
came and did that for us in youth group one time, so that was awesome. Hey, real quick, Katie, we had a comment from Coleman Lee, and he said both great representatives of 417 Columbia. So proud of you guys, and that was directed towards you too, Coach. So very good. Let's see. What are you trying, Craig? What are you trying to pass on to student athletes like Katie, and how much work do they have to put in?
Well, it's I think the big thing, and that's one thing I'm incredibly proud of Katie. She really is the poster child of what we're hoping to accomplish. Katie's seeing Katie's growth and personality. Like the name Rebel Academy. The Rebel Academy is named after my daughter Rebel Grace. The whole name comes from the fact of teaching girls to be bold, girls that break molds and shatter glass ceilings are rebellious in a way. They don't lock themselves in a box. They grow and they morph and they create their own molds. And Katie has really done that over the past year. In fact, her mom gives me a hard time sometimes because and we have the saying in Rebel Academy is um, girls playing boldly, and sometimes Katie gets a little bold, and she's really grown in that department. And her mom may say like, "Yep, what have you done to this kid?" Because she's really
Yeah.
come out of her shell, as you can see. Um, and and that's the biggest thing is we want to build competence. Obviously, we want kids to learn the skills of volleyball, but we want to build confidence as players as well.
Hmm.
And that's the biggest thing because competitive sports it's a tough world,
Yeah.
and you've got to have thick skin and you've got to have a strong back to be able to compete, especially go to compete at the collegiate level. And that's the biggest thing. And I know Katie's definitely a shining example of what we're hoping to accomplish
Hmm.
over this past year because she's a tough competitor. She's quiet. She's not going to talk about it. It's that old saying, don't talk about it, be about it.
Right.
That's Katie. She doesn't talk about it. Every now and then I tease her because she tries to pretend like she's not being competitive, like when we mix up different groups and we bring in different competitors and so on. But I see the look on her face. She may not
Uh-huh.
say she's competing, but she doesn't want to be the slowest one in the group. That's
Right.
for sure.
Right.
And that's healthy.
Yeah.
If you're going to run a race, you run that race as if to win the prize.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, Katie, talking about different competitive environments and different opportunities, why don't you tell us a little bit about this summer? Tell us a little bit about Exact 11 and what that's all about.
Well, Exact 11 kind of stems from this organization of Exact Sports, and it all kind of started when Max Preps, which is a really big, like, I would say recruiting kind of app and organization, sent me this invitation to go to this Exact showcase. And I've never heard anything about it. No one I knew went to it, but I was like, you know what? Let's try. It's only like 2 hours away. Like, why not? So I decided to go, and it was a really positive experience. It was an all day thing. It was from like 8 to 4, I think. But all day, they recorded our film, they rated us afterwards. They not only had us play, but they taught us how to talk to college coaches and how to give an elevator pitch to college coaches. So it was really just an great experience overall.
Mhm.
And then leaving it, they still had my information, my contact information. So I got like my rating, how the coaches thought of me afterwards, which I really enjoyed to see how they thought my performance was. And then I just got an email one day and it said something about top 100. And I was like, what? So I clicked on it and I looked and I saw that they had ranked me 8th in the nation, which was just a great feeling. I mean, it was just out of the blue. And then not too long afterwards, I saw Exact 11 international trip, and I was like, what is this? And I looked, and it was this invitation to go to Barcelona with Exact 11. And Exact 11 is really just taking these prospective players that shined at these showcases, and they were ranked and chosen by NCAA and NAIA coaches, and it was taking those players, taking the best of the best, the most dedicated, everything else, and taking them and just putting them into a group that can go overseas and play and show their dedication and their love for the sport.
Mhm. Very good. Coach, how would an experience like this be able to help develop Katie?
Oh, it's a fantastic experience. I mean, like one just the combine or the the camp day itself is a great experience because that's the one thing when you look at the roster and the caliber of players that she went competed with, um, there were some of the names on that list were some of the top players in our region. There were some great players there. So I mean, it wasn't like she was on a low tier of volleyball. There were some very impressive names there. So going and mingling with some of those other kids and being able to go and play and connect with top players from around the area, that's not an easy job to do,
Right.
especially as a center position.
Hmm.
And then the other thing is to go and play international. One thing about volleyball, I've played with a few players that have come from overseas that have come over here on club teams and so on. The game is different. You can tell a different style of play whether you're in different regions of the U.S. The game is slightly different, but if you go internationally, it's very different. So the experience of going over there and playing over in Barcelona, she's going to find the style of play is very different. So just that experience and that knowledge base that she's going to gain from playing a different style of volleyball, it's very eye-opening because they everybody has a different spin on it, and it's only going to help build her portfolio as she tries to head on to the college level. It's a great experience.
Yeah, very cool. Katie, what are your expectations of the trip?
Um, like Craig said, I'm really just ready for an eye-opening experience. Like this is volleyball is can be seen in so many different ways just in the US. So seeing how it is played and just all the attitudes that it's going to be over in Barcelona is just going to be really an eye opener for me. And not only am I going to be able to experience volleyball internationally, but I'm going to be able to experience the culture in Barcelona and I'm going to be able to sightsee, and it's just going to be a really amazing opportunity. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm just so grateful that I was chosen for this.
Yeah, very good. Well, congratulations. It sounds like you're gonna have a great experience. And one thing I want to ask off of that, though, I mean, you're not having much downtime, so I want to ask Coach, how does a student athlete deal with that busyness? And it just seems to pile on more and more and more. How do you teach them to watch out for burnout, that type of thing?
So that is something that we have to be very cognizant of. Now, I will say sometimes, sorry, Katie, but sometimes she doesn't like it. Um, Sometimes maybe we need to talk about taking some days out. That is a thing. Yes, she does. She is incredibly committed.
Hmm.
But we do have talks about you've got to manage your headspace and leave in recovery time, not only physically but mentally. But the other thing, there's other things that you can do as far as you can do volleyball related activities, such as playing like beach or things like that,
Hmm.
um, or in your physical training. You can do other things that are still progressing you towards a goal, but it's different.
Hmm.
So like for instance, like we've got a thing Saturday where we're playing beach. but it's going to be an open play day. There's no instruction. There's no mean nitpicking because like she mentioned the little things sometimes that can be really picky and it really annoys her. Um, but there's none of that going on that day because sometimes you just got to go out and play recreationally and remember why you love to play, and it can't always be work. So you've got to constantly mix that thing in. But every now and then, and that's one thing that I think her and her mom does a good job too. Of every now and then, her mom's like, "Yep, we're gonna take this day out. She's gonna go do this activity because she needs to go be a girl for a day or two." And, she doesn't always like it, but she'll, you know, it's okay to go watch a movie once in a week on a Tuesday night and skip session.
Yeah,
It's okay.
very good. Thank you for explaining that and the importance of it because yeah, there is so much going on and you don't want to see that happen. I have seen it happen in several student athletes and it's sad to see. So Katie, we have Aslyn Marshall. She's saying yes, Katie, best teammate and person. Heart emoji. All right. Speaking of people that are the best people, why don't you talk a little bit about your family and the sacrifices and support that they've made for you?
Um, well, when I first got the email to go internationally, it really didn't have any details about like costs or anything yet. But all I remember is my mom being like, Katie, I can't promise you anything because I don't know the cost, but like I can't really say no. And that just meant a lot to me because she also recognized what a once in a lifetime experience and opportunity this was. And she was like, I can't promise anything, but I can't really say no to you because this is just so amazing. And my mom isn't able to go, so she's making a really big sacrifice with that. And she's going to have to be able to trust me and just I'm gonna have to make sure that I am okay and just take responsibility of myself because she's just gonna have to kind of like send me overseas. So that's a really big sacrifice that she's making, and I'm just really grateful for her support and honestly the support I've gotten from Rebel Academy and 417 and Capital City because all of those places and organizations are really just like another family for me. And like James Hake, which commented on this, he's like basically one of my volleyball dads. He's always supporting me there when I'm at Rebel. Or like Aslyn Marshall, which I play with at 417 and at Cap City. She's always such like a supportive teammate, and Callie Bracey. They're all just so supportive, and I wouldn't be here without them because they're always talking to me at practice if I'm in my head, just as I would to them. And they just have made me a better player and offered me this amazing amount of support that I couldn't have done without them.
Yes, and again, she's going to be able to go back and play that for her to hear you saying all that. You remember that time you appreciated me? That's the thing about the internet. You can pull it up at different times. Also, wait, we've got other people making comments. Trisha Heisler said, Dana Daehnick, such a proud mom moment. Way to go, Katie. And then Taylor Heath, Katie is an amazing player. She works so hard both in the gym and out of the gym. So proud and honored to call her a friend. Thank you all again for your comments. Hey, we're just about done. We got what? Aubrey Allen. I know Aubrey Allen. She's awesome. And she said, and that's Dana Daehnick for you. Proud of you, Katie. So great. Very good. Katie, one more thing I want to ask you. We're going to ask Coach another question, and then I've got two speed round questions, things that everybody's going to want to know. You have no idea what I'm going to ask, so you can't hang up yet, okay? All right.
Okay.
Obviously, volleyball is not an individual sport, but tell us about your teammates and how do you support and make each other better?
Um, I think volleyball is such a mental sport that when you make errors or your teammates make errors, you really have to look to each other. So it makes a world of a difference that when someone messes up, if I were to look at them and be like, what was that? Like that just furthers them getting in their head. But me looking at them and saying, hey, you got this next ball, it shows them that not only do I believe in them, but like the whole team believes in them. And it just elevates them and makes them feel like they can do it and they got this next ball. And it's just such positive self-talk and hyping each other up. And then if that person was to go and make an amazing play, like you don't just like like that was good. Like you hype them up. I'm known for pushing. If there's a big play, like I'll push them, I'll shake them, I'll be like, come on, like get excited because getting excited and building momentum is such a huge part of the game, and it just changes the way you play and the way your teammates respond to you and just the whole game in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an important thing to enjoy the experience. And I think that's another thing that, we had talked about burnout, but enjoy the experience, the love for the game. Got to enjoy the experience. If it becomes something that is a rut or just a routine, then it's not going to last long. So it sounds like you are having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I've got a couple comments. We got Angie Bruce Johnson. She said, then this one's for you, Coach. Coach Craig is amazing and gives and builds all the girls up. Katie is an amazing role model for younger players. Thanks to both of you. All right. And Coach, I'm going to let you give a final thought here on things that you would like to say to others about possibly getting involved in your program. I know you said that there's a waiting list, but if somebody's interested, what's the next step for them?
Well, I guess if you're interested, it's just, reach out. We do have the Facebook group. We do have some new opportunities coming available that can't quite announce yet, but we do have some big things coming um, over here in the next couple weeks. But reach out on the Facebook group. Do be patient. I promise I will pour a lot of effort into the training once we get involved. But there has been quite the turnout, so there is a little bit of a backlog. I know my phone's going off right now of people looking for their time slots, and so for anybody that is listening, no, the back half of May is not finished slotting. I have to finish those after lessons tonight. So for anybody that is listening, no, not all of those have gone out. May is not done. Um, but yeah, that's so. Just reach out through the Facebook private group, and then I'll have more of the signups out there.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to do a couple quick questions. And Katie, tell us a little bit. What is your go-to snack or food after you get done playing volleyball, either a training session or a game? What is that? What's that thing that you want to eat?
Uh, Honestly, I would say probably just like goldfish or like Cheez-Its because it's just like a fast snack. So if I have another game, I won't throw up, but like it's good.
Goldfish. Okay. And I'm glad that it's the cracker form. Okay, not just real goldfish. Thank you. That was
Yeah.
good. How about you, Coach? What's that go-to snack for you after you've had such a busy day?
Oh, I normally don't get to eat during tournaments, so yeah, I think probably those way overpriced acai bowls at the convention center. So
Okay.
they're
Very good.
overpriced, but they are a guilty pleasure.
All right. Good. All right. Now this one is very important, Katie. Now, and your mom might even weigh in on it. I don't know, but what is that? What's that chore that you just do not like doing around the house?
Um, my mom really doesn't make us do many chores, but if I would have to choose one, it would probably be when we're like rearranging things and she makes me dust my room. It's just not fun.
Oh my goodness. You hear that? You hear that, Coach?
Oh my goodness, I didn't. Well, now we're gonna have to put some extra time in the gym. I didn't know she had it so easy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yep. I know again, knowing from your mom, I know that you probably kept busy with some chores from time to time. And
Oh
my
yeah.
mom, my mom the same way.
Oh yeah. Like I used to tell people I had changed my own diapers. I'm pretty sure. I might be exaggerating, but
Yep, my mom would have me take the trash out on Saturday morning. You're wanting to sleep in on the weekend, so she'd get me up early to take the trash out on Saturday morning. Well, the trash truck doesn't come until Tuesday. So what's up with that?
it's just don't get
Just she,
comfortable.
she just didn't want me comfortable. Just wake up,
Just
okay?
yep, yep.
Yeah. All right. Hey guys, I'm not going to take any more of your time. I know you got to go, Coach, but if you guys will hold on for just 1 second, I'm going to quickly close out the program. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a great interview, and thank you everybody for all the comments that you've made. So I will see you guys here in just a second, okay?
Thank you.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. We had Katie Daehnick, and look forward to hearing what happens with her in Spain. Hopefully, we can have her come on again and talk about that experience that she has there this summer with Exact 11. And we were also talking with Coach Craig Cunningham of Rebel Academy and 417 Juniors in Colombia. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for interacting. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars. This is One Nation, a Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. God bless you all, and see you next week.